Hello and welcome back to our second session of starting out with Stampin' Up products with me, Teresa Brown Australia online coach. I love being a card coach and I love to encourage you to make your own beautiful greeting cards for birthdays, anniversaries, get wells, deeper sympathies, babies, happy birthdays, anything and everything you can make a beautiful card for using our Stampin' Up products. But I want to talk mainly about our stamps today because we have photopolymer stamps and red rubber stamps, and we also have like a two-step stamping and things like that. So I want to just share a little bit of the basics about this. So let's come down to my workbench. Okay, so when you're using a photopolymer stamp, so what is a photopolymer stamp? That's what people normally ask if they don't know and they're very new. And it's a clear stamp, okay? So it's got no padding on it. It's just a clear stamp that stamps out an image for you to put on your card. So you can sort of see on our stamp sets, we have images. So we've got a tree branch, books, glasses to go on the birds, leaves, little chicks, and also tells you down here like how many stamps are in the set. So there's 11 in this set. Also tells you the code. Also tells you they're 95% of the original size. Okay, so how do you use a photopolymer stamp? So let's start. We have a thing called a piercing mat. It's got a bit of padding in it, so it reminds me of a mouse pad. So if you feel a mouse pad, you can feel that it's got pretty well a little bit of padding in it. So this has got a bit of padding in it, and I'm just going to grab a bit of cardstock so that we can go through and do a little bit of images on here for you so you can sort of see. We also, with our stamps, you need your blocks. Okay, so the blocks are all got alphabets on the side. So this is a B block, and a B block you can sort of see will fit over this little chick, which we're going to stamp out. We're just going to do some little stamping to share with you what an image is. Okay, now a lot of people call these the stamps, they call them punches or dies or lots of things, but what they're actually called, and they're actually just called a stamp. And yeah, it can be a little bit confusing for people when they don't know the names of the products, and that's the hardest bit. So getting to know the names of the products. These are our ink pads. Now I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our ink pads as well today, because these come in our core colours, our in colours, and we have white, black, Stays On and Versamark in our range of colours. But I'll go through all the inks with you another day, but today we just wanted to mention those inks for you. So this is a water-based one, and this is one of our ink colours. It's called Wild Wheat, and I'm just going to stamp that image down. Now the padding just gives it a little bit more padding for the photopolymer stamp, okay, because it gives a little bit more, yeah, to press down on than a hard surface. So we're going to need our little cleaning pad here. The chamois are a must. So a chamois is something that I would put our paper trimmer down, which I shared with you yesterday or in our first section. And then I'd definitely go with a chamois. Then you've got to choose the stamp set. Now stamp sets can be really hard to choose because unless you really know what you want to make, they can be a little bit daunting, like, oh, what do I pick? What do I have? So I'm going to go through the stamps with you, not all of them because there's so many of them, but I'm just going to explain a little bit about them. So that's your photopolymer one. Now I love them because you can see through them, they're easy to stamp down. Now we also have I'm just picking out some stamps here. We also have a red rubber. Now the red rubber is, this is what we call red rubber. So it's red rubber. And we need to stick our cling image to the back so that they stick to our blocks. So I'm going to show you how to do that now, because that's an important thing when you buy your stamps, is to put your images down as well. Put your images on the back. Now sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. It depends if I'm in a hurry. But I keep my images in the lid here. I slide mine in here so I don't lose them. And we're going to just grab out this one that says, let's have a look and see what this one says. So you can see what they all say, endlessly grateful. Okay, so you can sort of see on the front what the names are. Okay, so that's really good too. And you can sort of see then where to find them in here. And you have two little lift ups. So you've got your one little lift up. Now when you pull this one out, you're going to put this down on your block. Now you need to have the white piece of paper, that second piece of paper you left on, you need that facing up. Okay, so you need that facing up, and we're going to put the cling part, what they call the cling part that sticks on the block, down the bottom. Then we're going to grab off the second backing, this second backing. Then you can sort of see that it's got a shape on this clear. It's got a bit of a shape to it. Okay, we're going to stick this right over that shape. Now you want to try to get it pretty well spot on the first time. And now you can sort of see that you have got your cling backing on that. Now just be very careful when you peel this off the first time, because it's you need to just peel it up, and it feels tacky, but it's the cling. Okay, it won't fall off, and it's not the sticky side that you're meant to stick on or anything like that. It's so it will stick onto your block. Okay, now when you're actually stamping out this particular one, you do not need the pad underneath it, because this has already got foaming underneath it, which is like that foaming pad. So this has already got foam underneath it. So we're just going to grab another ink, and we're just going to tap it lightly. Don't tap it hard, just tap it lightly. If you tap it hard, you're going to get it around the image, around the border. So we're going to come down like that. If you come into your ink pad crooked, I'm going to do it crooked, and you come down, you're going to get red lines, marks. I'm just going to do a little, when you want to do it, you can't do it. Okay, oh, still not happening. But normally you get red lines because it's gone around the edge. You can press down too hard and you'll get the red lines, but you can sort of see this one sort of went out of shape. So you've got to be very mindful when you're bringing down your stamp to your card. You have to think about what you're doing. And normally 99% of the time, this little edge around the outside, you'll end up getting around your stamp if you don't do it nice and properly. Okay, I tried to do it today and just couldn't even do it. But it normally happens when you're not expecting it. Okay, so we'll pop this one back away then into our little pop. Now, no, I've taken all the paper off that one. That's okay. Now I just want to go through this one. Okay, this one's a new one. So I'm looking for something that's new. So it will come like this, and it will come with white backing on it. So the first thing I do is I normally slip that straight in there, unless you've got time to sit there and do them all. But what you need to do is peel this backing off before you stick anything onto it. Okay, so this is a must. You must peel all this white stuff off, even off the back of the stamps, okay, because one, if you stick your image, your cling image over the top of that white, it's just going to fall off, okay, because it's got to stick to the padding. So take all this off. You don't want any of this left on. So all these white bits. Now don't throw your outside. I know a lot of people throw their outside edge away. They just take the stamps out and throw their edge away. I don't. I like to keep it, and I like to keep it in my box for the simple reason if a stamp is missing, you can tell straight away. Instead of having to count the stamps every time you put them back into the case. This way you can just place this in here and it will be like a little border. You just got to get it in between the, it sticks, so you got to, that's it. Get it in between the bits, that's better. And it will stick in there. So you know that it's going to be in there, but if you've been doing stamping and say for instance, you just got to pull them away from the outer edge. Say for instance, you've packed that away and you've gone to get your stamp and you go, oh my God, I've lost the stamp. And then you can start looking for it. It could be hidden under an ink pad because they stick, because they have the cling. It could be on another stamp set somewhere that you haven't realised you put the stamp down on top of it. So don't panic, just go looking for it, okay? Because it'll be somewhere. You might have even just left it on your block and not realised, and it's sitting in amongst all your stuff on the table and you don't realise. So make sure you go looking for it. Okay, so this is another red rubber one, and it's just an image, and this is a leaf image. Now choosing your stamp sets sometimes can be a little bit hard because you've got to know what you want it for. So if you've got more females in your family, I would definitely go for something that you could use for females, you know. So you can see this ink pad needs a little bit of re-inking, okay, because it's a little bit dry. But I've just got my ink refills in, and we'll talk about that, re-inking your pads and that with our ink class that's coming up next on our next video. But just clean that and then you can pop that back away. Now with some of our stamps we have images like this, okay, and you think, oh, what is that for? And it just means that you can do an image like that. It's like a watermark or a colour mark. So let's do the flower. Let's just stamp the flower out first. It gives you a bit of an idea of what they're for. You can use your blocks as well for this technique, which is really lovely. So we're going to come in with, just got to grab my black ink. It was way over there. Okay, so we come in with our black ink. Because this is red rubber, we don't need to use our sponge underneath it. Okay, so you can just come down and do an image, and then you can come down with another image over the top of it, which will give it a bit of light colour. So we can come in with maybe this one. Just got to get this one off, put our flower off there. And we're going to come in with like a yellow over our flower. Now you might want it really dark. Now let's do one ink straight on. Okay, so ink straight on. And you can sort of see it gives it that image behind it. If you wanted it really, really light, you could do a stamp off first and then a stamp on. And it gives you a lighter effect. Okay, and then you can stamp your image down on top of that, over the top of that. You can do it either way, no right or wrong to that. Now let's go with a bit of a darker colour so you can sort of see that a bit more, because the yellow is a bit light. So let's come in with another colour, just so you can sort of see what it's about. So let's come in with the Pool Party. Pool Party is a nice colour. Okay, so we're going to come down with our image. I'm going to ink him up, and we'll come down with that image. Okay, so that's what it looks like. You can sort of see what the image looks like there. We're going to clean that. Sometimes you might have to just grab your chamois out and just do around that little lip. If it's you can't get that little lip clean, you can just come around that little lip and get some of that ink off. Okay, so that's not a problem either, just something you might have to do. Okay, so we'll put that one there. We'll grab that beautiful flower again, and this time you might come in with the same colour, not the black. And you can see what I mean by you can get that ink around the edge. I don't know if you can see the ink around the edge of the stamp. You don't want that, so we want to clean that off. So this ink's pretty wet, so make sure you clean that off because you don't want that edge. And this time just press down a little bit lighter, okay, not hard into the ink. And then you can come down and stamp over it so you've got the same sort of colouring through there. Okay, so that's a solid background that you can use just for shadowing or shading or bringing in some colours. You might even want to bring in a few different colours with the different shapes, like there's a few different shapes here. So you can sort of go, okay, I might want a few different shapes. So you can even do that. So you might bring it in like, oh, I don't know, let's just do a random one here. Okay, so you've sort of come in with that, and then you might want to come in with a something like that. So you're sort of bringing in a bit of a background on your work, and then you might just want to put a big word over it or something like that with a mat. You might just want to use that as a background stamp. You can also use your leaves for a background stamp. You can use any of these products for a background stamp as well. So we do have also big background stamps that you don't need to do lots of stamping with. So let me share that one with you. Okay, I'm just going to clean this one. So give it a good rub on the chamois and then just pop them away in your stamp set. And close that up. Okay. Better put that back in there, otherwise I won't be able to put my words on. So like I said, until I'm ready to use it, I'm just going to slide it down into the front behind the cover, just so it doesn't get lost or curled up in there. Okay. So let me share with you a background stamp. I brought out two here. So there's all different background stamps. So a background stamp is a huge, big stamp that you can use as a background, which is really beautiful. So it's a really easy one to use. So you just ink this one up and then you press your paper over the top of it. Now just say, for instance, you've just started and you've bought a background stamp but you don't have the big block to put it on. How do you then use it? So let me just share that with you. Okay, let's move this out of the way. So we're going to bring this in on here, and I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock. And I'm also going to grab either a piece of paper towel or a tissue. That's what you need. So we're going to put this on your table or on your flat surface, mainly your grid paper. If you've got your grid paper, you want to put it on your grid paper. Okay, so we're going to ink this up, and you want to make sure that you get it all inked up. Okay, so make sure that you've got it all inked up where it's meant to be. Okay, that's pretty good. And then just layer your paper straight down on, and then grab that tissue or paper towel and just press down over the top. Okay, so just press that over the top. Don't move the card. Okay, just press that over the top. You'll see that's the border edge, but then you've got this beautiful image on your card. Now, I love background stamps. These are fantastic. Like if you want to put a big word like happy anniversary, happy birthday, you can colour these in. So that's awesome as well. So we'll just put that aside for a moment. I'm just going to grab my sponge here. Now, the other way to do this is just turn it upside down in your container and just give it a bit of a press to give it a bit of a clean. Okay, so which is really, really, really good. Okay, so you can sort of see that all the inks virtually nearly come off, which is really great. Okay, so then you can just pop that back into your background stamp case. Once again, just pop this in here and you can put that image on whenever you want, or if you don't decide not to, you don't have to. It's entirely up to you. But it does cling it to blocks, and we do have a big block. So like I said, there's different types of background stamps, lots of different ones in the catalogue. You'll see them all together. And the images are a little bit smaller on here. You can see that's a bigger one. It's a map. And I just did that map before. I just stamped it out. And it's got a little map of Australia and the world. And you could put from our house to your house, thank you, welcome, greetings, whatever, if you're sending something from overseas. I think that's a really lovely one. So, two of my favourite background stamps there. There's lots more, believe me. Okay, so now we also have stamps that are what we call two-step. And that's a two-step image. So we're going to bring our paper back down now. So let's choose the flowers in here. We've got solid flowers and not solid flowers. Okay, so let's do them. So let's pop this one on this block and pop this one on this block. And if you're anything like me, you end up with more than one block. So this is two-step stamping. This is what they call two-step stamping, and it's mainly when you see a stamp set that's got a line image, then you've got the same image that's solid. Okay, so this one would go inside this one. This one would go inside this one, and this one, and this one. The leaf inside each other. So you can sort of see where it's going to go. So let me show you how this works. So we're going to come down with our line one first. And this is the same technique that you use for all your two-step, but you can use lots of different ways and markers and that. But usually you want it with a black outline or a dark outline of some sort. Okay, and then we're going to come in. So I'm going to turn that around because then that way is sort of facing the same way as what I had it. Now, let me share this one with you. We'll do, let's go a different colour than pool pony. I've got some light colours here, but let's go with the blue, just so you can sort of see a little bit of variety. We've got beautiful colours, unusual names, but beautiful colours. So this is just the full-on stamp. Okay, so it's no stamping off, just full-on over the top of that image. Okay, so that's the boho blue straight over the top of the black. So let's do that one again. And you might hear a lot of people say stamp off. So let's do this image again and share you. You know, they might say, when you're watching someone on YouTube, they might say to you, okay, I've stamped the black image out, but I want a softer flower, so I have actually stamped off. So they come down with the colour and then they stamp off on their grid paper, which removes some of the ink, and then they come down and they stamp onto their image. Can you see the difference in the colours there? You get this beautiful soft blue, and then you get the darker blue, and then they might say, well, I want to use the Winker Stella over that, so they'll come in with the Winker Stella. Now that was on yesterday's class, like the very first one I talked about the Winker Stella, but this gives it a bit of glitter. Okay, so you can actually then glitter that up, but it looks beautiful in both colours, the darker or the lighter. Okay, so two-step stamps are really great fun, and we have quite a few different two-step stamps. It's written on here, okay, 2 steps. It says image 85%, 2-step. Write down there the code. It will tell you whether it's a 2-step stamp. It also tells you it's got 11 stamps in this one, and it also has a punch that goes around this. Okay, and I'll talk to you about punches in our punch session because otherwise I'm going to confuse you. Okay, so we've done 2-step stamping, we've done our red rubber stamping, we've had our photopolymer stamping, we've had our background stamp, which is really good. And then you've got ones that go with dies as well. Like these two have die sets that go with it. Okay, so when you've got your image of your easel, you'll also have an image in cutting blades that goes with our cutting tools, but I'll explain that when we get to our cutting tools about this. Okay, but you'll see bundles that have got dies and stamps, and when you see that stamp and die, that means you've got a stamp set and a die that you can buy in a bundle, and you can receive 10% off for the first year. The second year, when they get divided into the new catalogue, if they come across, you'll pay individual prices for them. Okay, now some of our stamps will also go over to the online exclusive, and the one horse open sleigh one here is, or the horse and sleigh, is actually on our online exclusive. So what does that mean? It means it won't be shown anywhere in our catalogues. Okay, so it's not in a catalogue. It only is on the online shop. So you can go on to my online shop at teresabrownstamping.stampinup.net and check out products and check out online exclusive. Okay, so check out the online exclusive, and this is an online exclusive product, and there's a lot of online exclusive products in the online exclusive, which can be a stamp, it can be a stamp set and a die, it could even be a kit. Okay, but next month we're going to have I'm going to share a lot of kits with you next month over on my Facebook page. So join me over there as well, because I do a lot of classes every night or every day on Facebook as well. Okay, so that's at Teresa Brown Stamping on my Facebook page. So this is an online exclusive. This one's a catalogue one, okay? And you think, well, how do you know the difference? Whatever you see in your catalogue, you can purchase. You might see this stamp set and think, where is it in the catalogue? I can't find it. Then have a think that it might be on the online exclusive. Okay, so they're the things that you just need to weigh up there. So I hope you enjoyed a little bit of knowing the difference between our stamps And we have men's stamps, we have kitty stamps, have lots of flower stamps. So have a think about who's in your family and who you're giving a card to, birthday cards and things like that, or anniversary cards, or whatever type of card it is, because that's the type of stamp you're going to go for. If you've got a lot of ladies cards to give to, you can use this for a thank you card. You can use it for a birthday card, anniversary card, get well soon card. So you might want to think about it, but this one doesn't have words in it, where this one comes with words as well. So that's another thing you need to look at. Has it got words in the stamp set? And if it hasn't, then you might want to purchase, I'll just find it here. You might want to purchase 2 stamp sets. You might want to purchase one with a lot of words in it. Okay, so that you can use the words with the stamp set. So you need to look to see whether you want what you want. This one here is one of my favorites, the crafty one. And this has got a few words in it too, like you inspire me. And I love this one, sending you a handmade hug. I think that's gorgeous because a card is a hug. I reckon it's folded in half, it's a hug. So this is a gorgeous one. It's a good, really gorgeous one for anyone that does crafting and even like knitting. They've got the knitting up here if you know someone that's into knitting or art, or this is one of our die cutting machines that cuts the dies, or a sewing person who loves to sew. So there's a lot on here that you can create lots of different cards. So that's the thing you've got to think about, okay? This is great because it's words, and you can just stamp words onto a card if that's what you want to do and not add an image at all. You can use our beautiful designer series paper, which will come into another segment, but you can use this with designer series paper as well. Okay, so I hope you got a little bit of understanding on how to put your cling on the back of your rubber image, which is your red rubber, and the photopolymer, how to use your piercing mat, which you can order a piercing mat, so that you can actually use it for a little bit more support when you're actually stamping out your stamps. So our next section will be on our ink pads. So I hope you will join us then. I'm not quite sure what day that will be. But God bless you all, and thank you for joining me today, and I will see you in our next session. Bye for now.